Yeah. What's up, chat? Happy, it feels like a Tuesday, but it's not. Happy Friday. Holy cow. February 25th, 2022. I'm Gun, twitter.com/Gundacker, joined by the mad scientist of the prop hunting, Josh. What's up, Josh? I just kind of splatted at the end of that. Like, built you up, and then Jake the Snake Robert the finish, man. What's up? What's up, dude? Mister, I got a family. I can't, but today you don't. So,
hey man, I finally got the house to myself for a little bit, man. It's, the little luxuries and bonuses in life you gotta appreciate, right?
Look at this guy with the lights and the mic. What, bro? I feel like I'm in. Oh my God! You're gonna take over. God dang it!
I'm just trying to improve, man. I started from just the crap mic on the computer, blowing everyone's ear out, trying to help out the community, you know.
the kids in the background.
Yeah.
See, I got lighting and a green, all that stuff, but the lighting I got is this giant blind you light, but you have to stick like a white umbrella, twist it, and then you get some of that natural light. But without my beard, I just look like fat Uncle Festus. So I need it back soon. What's up, chat? What up, Mia Moore, McCall? Neville in the chat, Thomas in the chat, Nick Tesla. You guys doing all right? Hope you guys did all right last night. Last night I felt like I was on the right place everywhere logistically. Had 8 in fantasy points, but I literally talked about how blocks and steals would have been so easy to sweat because of the Thunder. So I wish I would have took that. I did have the Trae Young assist. I had Rajon Rondo fantasy points. And when I initially set the ticket, the point line was at 22, and then they moved it to 25. Like right as I was trying to enter, I was like, God dang, that's an aggressive move. And then he had like 6 turnovers, bro, which is -1 a pop. So he ended up effing us on that one. Tragic Brunson alert. Tragic Brunson alert. Mock joining the channel membership. I appreciate that. Mock, next week, I'm hoping on Monday we'll launch a free Discord for the YouTube channel, and then of course the YouTube channel members will have a premium channel in there. So look out for that. I appreciate you joining the crew, though. That's awesome. I forgot we had that alert for the channel membership. But anyway, so yeah, Rondo 6 turnovers. Yoinks me from the over there on 25. Doesn't close. They go with Brandon Goodwin. It seems like whoever doesn't start for the Cavs at point guard ends up being the best play at point guard. Like if it's Jetty Osman, then it's Brandon Goodwin. If it's Brandon Goodwin, then it's Rajon Rondo. It's like they just can't get right without Garland and LeVert. So hopefully we don't have to spin the wheel and make a deal on that carousel much. What else were we on yesterday? Jokic assist. I was there on that. And then was all the way there on Clint Capella fantasy points. The unfortunate thing with Capella yesterday is that in the system that I use, I like to grab 5 picks and then slam that 5-pick flex and then rotate the 2-pick powers. You can't do that if you have 2 guys on the same team. So Trae Young assists, Clint Capella fantasy points were amongst my favorite, but I didn't have them in the obviously I couldn't put them together in the 2-pick power. So, but other than that, it was an okay day. Could have been better. Hopefully today's going to be better. We've got several games to choose from. It is the second day back from the All-Star break. Couple of marquee names on the docket, right? We got LeBron James. We got Luka Doncic. Harden looks like he's going to make his debut alongside Joel Embiid. Might have to guess about the implied impact that might have. The T-Wolves, night 2 of a back-to-back, Cat and Joel Embiid. A little bit of a history there, a little bit. I saw in the projected lineup, they still got Derek Favors in a lot of spots starting for the Thunder, but from what I've noticed, he hasn't played back-to-backs really all year, so I don't expect that to happen, so you might get like Isaiah Roby there. And then I don't even know if I should say this, but Mitchell Robinson's father was missing, right? And I don't know if like I didn't bother to see if they found him, but like I don't see him attached to any type of questionable designation on the Knicks report. So I don't know, Chad. If anybody out there has an update on that, let me know. But I saw that his pops was they were looking for him. So I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be playing basketball, but I don't know the relationship they got. But anyway, that's what we're dealing with there. On the surface, a couple high total games. We got the Hornets and the Raptors. Two of our favorite teams to target for prop hunting and for DFS. So I believe we're going to have a lot of interest in that one. And then we got the Pelicans and the Suns. Suns night 2 of back-to-back. Life without Chris Paul continues. Yesterday, a lot of speculation on would they start Aaron Holiday? Would it be Elfrid Payton? It was neither. They stretched out Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, Jay Crowder in that lineup, and it worked. And we saw Devin Booker play pure point guard, double-digit assist here. They'll be hosting the New Orleans Pelicans. Can CJ McCollum keep his streak alive there? Then we got the Lakers closing it out. Life without Anthony Davis. So a couple of scenarios for the Lakers lineup that I think we can maybe talk about is we've seen them run LeBron James at center in a stretch where AD was out. So maybe that's something they go forward with. And then also we've seen LeBron James just take over. And the sense of urgency is at an all-time high here for the Lakers. They need to start winning. They need to start putting together a stretch here if they're going to make the postseason. So we might be in on some LeBron James big-minute games and potentially some big assist games. And to further maybe bolster the potential for him to play some center is I think Carmelo Anthony's ready to come back. So a lot of talking points on today's slate. Before we do that, remind you guys, this stream brought to you by RunDFS.com. If you guys want access to the spreadsheet, the my projections, the player pools for DFS, all that good stuff, go to RunDFS.com. Get yourself a VIP membership. Get signed up, man, and jump in the premium Discord for RunDFS.com. We're there all day long, all day strong. And then, of course, the 2 hours before lock, we're in the voice chat. Josh, where do we start with? We want to start with game number 1. Unlike yesterday, we have 4 games at lock. Yesterday, we only had 1 game, and we only had 2 games the first hour. This slate starts pretty doggone fast. So we'll talk. I guess we'll pace ourselves here. No pun intended. Pacers hosting the Thunder here. 226 total, 6.5 point spread. So on the Pacers side, Malcolm Brogdon looked like he's going to be ready to go alongside Halliburton. I wonder what the Pacers lineup would look like. Would they run Brogdon, Halliburton, Buddy Hield into this mix? It seems like this is going to be one of those spots that we really don't quite know what to expect. Might expect a limited minute approach here from the Pacers on Brogdon. Do they try to overlap these two? Does it impact Halliburton's assist rate? Feel like you can't help it. Does it become another Fox and Halliburton situation like it was in Sacramento? I'm not quite sure. And then on the Thunder side, SGA, Josh Giddey leading the charge here. Like I said, I think that Derek Favors probably doesn't play today. That's a hunch that I have. He hasn't played, I don't think, any back-to-back this year. So if he's out, I kind of project Isaiah Roby to start, and then Darius Baisley would get a boost, in my opinion, on the other side of the All-Star break. He was playing super deep minutes. So those are kind of names in DFS I was thinking about. Did you have any talking points for prop shopping here? Because I do feel like there's a lot of unknown here, and then in a parlay style format, I don't really want to get too much unknown on a bigger slate. But anything that stood out to you about the Pacers and the Thunder?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I wish Brogdon they would just shut him down for the rest of the season. I mean, I like him as a player, but I liked riding Halliburton recently, and especially for fantasy points. So yeah, we need to see a wait and see approach here. We need to see how they mesh together and who handles the distribution. I assume it's going to be Halliburton, but I need to see how much Brogdon takes away from his passing. What is Goga's? Do they have many props on him?
I don't know.
Three props. 24 fantasy points. I just want to check to see what you have him projected for.
So I have him down for 22. They said Isaiah Jackson was going to be playing. And
Okay.
then that front
Okay.
court is just like, who knows? O'Shea
Yeah.
Brissett, Isaiah Jackson,
Right.
Terry Taylor is a pig for them. So I don't quite know what to expect from that
Yeah.
front court. So it's a
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah. I'll probably just stay away, like you said.
All right. Get caught up on chat here. What up, Scott Duran? Darnell in the chat. What's up, bro? Nick says, really appreciate the 5 picks and the fantasy score projections. In Colorado, you can only bet fantasy score. It must be 4 or 5 picks. Every other app, though, you can bet literally everything. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I didn't know they had geographical restrictions. I knew there was, like, in or out. I didn't know that some states were offered some things. But I guess, I don't know, I guess we see the other sites have done it with like college sports. So, yeah, man, I appreciate. I'm glad you do that. But Nick, does that mean you could bet on sports? Because yeah, Colorado has legal sports betting. Why wouldn't you just bet sports? I mean, and it's the same, essentially the same. A lot of the similar props. I guess they're taxed differently, but a lot of times you can get better odds from parlaying player props if you're gonna do it the same. Still hasn't found his dad. That sucks. He haven't found his pops, man. I don't know if I'd be playing basketball, but I don't know, we'll see. All right, other games on today's slate. Houston Rockets, a team we typically do target, representing one of the fastest paced, worst defenses combinations. Very rarely are the Orlando Magic a favorite in an NBA game, but introducing the Rockets, Orlando Magic -4 with a 234 total. So plenty of I don't want to say isolated, but concentrated usage and plenty of guys that we can plan 30 minutes on. At least on the Magic side, I can get Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, and Wendell Carter at pretty comfortable minute projections. On the other side, we talked about. Didn't we have that discussion on Christian Wood double doubles and stuff down the stretch
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
NBA futures that they offered?
Yeah.
I do think the Rockets are going to be a little bit more hard to predict game to game. Silas
Yeah.
on a team that has more incentive to lose than win. I just don't know that I get to a lot of them going forward. But Kevin Porter Jr., Christian Wood, the guys that I expect to assume the most usage when they're out there. And then Dennis Schroeder sounds like he's going to ride the season out here. Whenever you get some opportunity, I might lean on him. But I would probably need one of, or at least 2 of the guards to be out to feel great about that. So I think we focus on the Magic side. And the Magic are going to offer us, I guess Wendell Carter. He's been my favorite Magic player to attack the last couple weeks here. But let's just pull up the Magic board. Wendell Carter has a 36 fantasy point projection. I've got him for 39, so not that much more over than what they have.
That blocks and steals though.
Blocks and steals, dough. So excellent segue here. We'll pull up the team metric chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. Blocks per game allowed. The Houston Rockets allow the 3rd most. Steals per game allowed. The Houston Rockets allow the 1st most. So for a guy like Wendell Carter, who averages 1.5 stocks per game, you ramp that up here with a pace up spot here. I can get behind the blocks and steals on Wendell Carter. I could also sell myself on maybe a little bit more fantasy upside here. A lot of the Magic games and the median minute projections, a lot of this stuff is based on the average Magic game flow, which is them getting absolutely stomped, right? A lot of 20. I think they have one of the worst net ratings in basketball here. So we might even be able to bolster some of our minute projections and maybe look at a couple more neutral matchups, like I don't know, I guess 121 to 111. Nuggets beat the Magic. Wendell Carter saw 34 minutes. So if a game is a little bit more neutral, maybe there's a case that Wendell Carter could push to a 34, 35 minute projection. In that case, I fully expect him to be over a point per minute, especially in this spot. We look at the team DVP chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. Houston Rockets allow the most fantasy points per game to the opposing power forward and center position. So big spot for Wendell Carter, and to an extent Mo Bamba. He can also take full advantage of the blocks per game, averaging almost 2 blocks per game and much less minutes per game. So a couple options here. Wendell Carter, though, seems like my best bet for minutes / production. So I do like looking his way, and the blocks and steals feels a lot like DeAndre Ayton yesterday with his blocks and steals. Anything else for you on the Magic here? I think they're all viable. Do you have any favorites?
No, Wendell's my favorite, like you said. I was probably the blocks and steals in fantasy. And then Mo Bamba, it's weird. Like his minutes are just so volatile. Like sometimes he'll play 20 minutes or he'll get up to 25 plus. But like you said, this is a prime spot for him. His fantasy scores at 26. I believe you have him at 32.
31. 31, 32. 31.85 is the.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a +6, right? I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, let's say if you don't play Wendell's fantasy points, because I wouldn't want the negative correlation on that. Even though they do play side by side, they could steal blocks and rebounds from each other. I could get on that. Maybe pair it with Wendell's something else, his blocks and steals. 7.5 rebounds is interesting too, because the Rockets are not a good rebounding team, but. Yeah, I would say those, and then what's your gut read on Cole Anthony? Because this is a good.
I thought you were going to lead me to Jalen Suggs because my Suggs projection came out at 41, and that's a 10-point gap from their projection. And I was like,
I saw that. Yeah.
Maybe get some. There's two Jalen's, right? The Green versus Suggs Jalen narrative. Let's go. So I was leaning more so that, but Cole Anthony's right there in the mix. Cole Anthony, if you give him minutes, he has the potential to drop 40 plus fantasy points on FanDuel scoring as well. And then Franz Wagner, he's Mr. 30 points, right? He's Mr. 30 points. Like I think at 28, I could take a shot at him against the Rockets here for a solid 30 shot. So I don't think any of the Magic are out of play here. I just think we would be tearing them here. I think Wendell Carter seems to like our consensus top option. And then past that, if I just let my projections do the talking, I think Jalen Suggs has to be second. But I think Mo Bamba is a little bit intriguing to me. Looking at chat, McCall says he did 150 lineups in the DFS optimizer. Mo Bamba came out in every single one of them. 4,500 on both sites. I'm getting a 30 fantasy point projection myself. So I wouldn't disagree with that. And then, of course, in those instances where Mamba gets extra minutes, we've seen him light up, a guy like Joel Embiid this season. So wouldn't be. He's definitely not a question mark per minute. The question is the minute, right? How many of them does he get? But I have him clearing 26 as well because all year long, trust the process, attack bigs against the Houston Rockets. So I'm there on that. Are you staying away from the Rockets just from uncertainty or no?
Yeah, I'm staying away, but I just wanted to briefly touch on the Rockets or talk about some Wood. Particularly Christian Wood.
Drink.
Man, did he? So that last night before, we didn't get to talk to the community about it, but that last night before All-Star break, did he burn us, man?
What a night that was, by the way. We didn't get to talk about how great that was.
Oh man, that was one of the
Siakam chat. Anybody out there? Was it the Siakam double overtime with
Bam
Adebayo?
Yeah.
Double overtime, and then with less than a second on the clock, it felt like he needed a block to hit, and he gets it.
He needed a block and rebound. He had to not only did he have to block it, he had to get the rebound from the block. So,
I honestly never had a doubt. So
that was awesome. That was one of the best sweats ever, man. I'll never forget that. And all we needed to cap off the night for a perfect night was Christian Wood to get 18 real life points, and I think he finished with 15. And he didn't touch the court in the fourth quarter because the Rockets got blown off the court.
Yeah, what a bummarooski. Anyway.
Yeah, so I'm staying away from the Rockets today.
That's fair. Nothing that I want to tag. I think pre-flop I'll have some overs on the projections, like 1-to-1. But like I said, Silas has this rotation, a little bit hard to predict. And, I'm okay with taking some one-offs in the DFS, but you don't really want to take volatile one-offs in a prize pick setting. So, I can avoid them. And, what can go wrong with putting some action on the Orlando Magic to come through for us today. What's up, Skimmer? Shout out to Skimmer in the chat. Parker. Shashwat. What's up, Shashwat? What do you think about Lamicki under? That's not NBA, right? Is it? It might be. I think there's some obscure guard that I saw earlier. Yeah, I don't know. Unless he meant LaMelo. And he got autocorrected to Lamicki. I don't know, man. Anyway, Spurs at the Wizards. So DeJounte Murray without Derek White has definitely been one of my favorite options for DFS. He's at a 48 fantasy point line right now. I've got him at 52. It's only like a +4, +5 margin difference. Not something that's screaming at me. The pace is going to be a little bit more up than neutral, but still, everything I think is priced appropriately. But I wouldn't talk anybody off of some DeJounte stuff. We don't by chance have a DeJounte blocks and steals. No. 2.5 free throws. No. Jakob Poeltl, they've introduced Zach Collins into the mix a little bit. Front court gets a little bit more flimsy, but I do like picking on Thomas Bryant specifically. So I got Poeltl at 30 minutes. That's giving me a 40 fantasy point projection. He's got a line at 34, so there's a 6-point gap there. It's worth, for me at least, to lean the over, but I don't have any standout here for the Spurs. And then on the Wizards side, no Bradley Beal, no Porzingis. Was a Q tag on Bryant? Is that something that's serious? Thomas Bryant dealing with right ankle sprain. So I guess if Thomas Bryant didn't play, it probably makes the matchup a little tougher. Gafford a little bit more stocky, a little bit more traditional. So yeah, okay, something to watch. Wizards though, without Bradley Beal, Kyle Kuzma, man, he's the he's been a volatile game to game. Today he's priced at 40 fantasy points. One of the higher baselines that we've seen Kyle Kuzma be at all year. 20.5 real points, and then the rest of this Wizards team. Nothing really standing out. Raul Neto at 23 fantasy points. Right now I got him at 25. I'm not getting big margins here. Anything that you like to target in this game?
So Rui coming back it did exactly what I expected. He just ball hogged, and he scored most of the points. I think he had 20 real life points. So the Kuzma's scoring went way down that game. And I just expect the same. I expect every time Rui's going to touch the ball, he's going to get majority of his shots up. So I'm going to stay away from Kuzma's probably point props and his PRA and maybe even fantasy score until, other guys like him, like Rui are out or KCP or something like that. So nothing really standing out to me so far on the Wizards side.
Yo, Rose Runner and Matt Lysick, appreciate the subs. Matt says he likes Kellen Johnson at 15.5 points. All right, let me see what we got here in the projections. I got him at 16.2, so I am on the over.
But don't forget the Wizards are top 3 against the 3-point shot, and Keldon's been getting a lot of points from the 3. Just something to consider.
Yeah, 14, 12, 13 shot attempts a game, and as many as 8 to 9 of them. All right, that's definitely something to watch. He is getting to the free throw line a little bit too. Yeah. So, all right, projection wise, I'm with you on the over, but I don't know if he's going to make the cut for me. But I definitely think that's a good look. And then all right, keeping it moving. Raptors at the Hornets. This is a game, all year long. We like the Raptors because they all play 40 minutes, and we like the Hornets because, fast-paced, bad defense, incredible combination. The Raptors kind of give us a little bit thinner rotation here with OG Anunoby fractured his finger, right? So I have him listed as out. I saw a couple sites did not list him as out, but I don't think he's going to play with a broken finger. So if that happens, we move everyone up 90 feet, more than likely putting Scotty Barnes at the 3, and then Kem Birch or Precious Achua in the front court. Maybe Thaddeus Young. I think Siakam, of course, having the ability to stretch out, something to watch. But I think the big minute guys that we can appreciate pre-flop is going to be Siakam, Barnes, Gary Trent, and Fred VanVleet. And VanVleet expected to play, even though you might see a lingering tag on him, right?
Yeah, what's up with that? Didn't he say something about he doesn't feel good about it and he's unsure?
He said he's not feeling well as he hoped he would after the All-Star break, but he rehabbed his knee during the extended time off and is expecting to play in Friday's game against Charlotte. So apparently when you play 40 minutes a game in the NBA, you might have some knee soreness.
Right. I don't know. That's something to look at, worry about or monitor. I mean,
yes, it is. All right, so I'm going to take off Anunoby since he does represent 35 to 40 minutes a game right now. He doesn't usually represent a lot of uses, but a lot of peripherals, right? Some steals, some rebounds, stuff like that. Let's put Siakam, Trent, and Van Vliet on the court. I'm not going to do much with Scotty here, but I think Scotty is worth keeping an eye on for maybe some if he got to like a high 20s, low 30s, I don't hate spinning the wheel on that. But Van Vliet, Trent, Siakam on the court together. We're going to get a couple of numbers. Actually, before we do all this, do they have Raptors lines up?
Yeah,
they do. Okay, so I didn't want to do like 8 miles of research just to we don't have any lines up. 24.5% usage rate on Van Vliet with a 25% assist rate, so that's a good line. Siakam a 28% usage rate with a 15% assist rate, over 1.1 PRIZEPICKS fantasy points per minute. Scotty Barnes, of course, trailing here, 16% usage. Gary Trent, 18% usage, with Gary Trent being the guy we expect to chuck threes, put some threes on it. He's got a real point prop of 20.5 and 3.5 3-points made. So that's an intriguing line because the Charlotte Hornets, they run and gun so much that you can just chuck at will against them. And I think they allow the most now, right? Let's see. Or the second most, right? Like a decimal behind the Milwaukee Bucks in terms of points allowed via the 3-ball. So I do think Gary Trent does represent a lot of 3-point potential, a lot of 3-point shots. Probably going to chuck double digits of them. And OG Anunoby was also a guy that could take 5, 7, 8 shots via the arc here. So. Man, what do you think about Gary Trent? 3.5 3-points made. It seems like an aggressive line, but
that was no, that was it. That was my favorite golden nugget right there that popped to me for the Raptors. I think like 3 weeks ago he made 4. I think he shot 4-9 from 3. Van Vliet shot crazy from the 3 against the Hornets that last game. I think he made 5+ threes, maybe 6. And yeah, he was super efficient. He didn't even look to pass either. They were all just dribbling up and just chucking it from 3 basically that game. So if you expect the same thing, I mean, why not, right? I mean,
breaking news: it's Fred VanVleet's birthday.
What?
Yes. How did you miss this, neuroscientist? How did you miss?
I always catch the birthday games. Are you sure?
I according to Google.com, and they've never lied. He's 28 years old today.
All right.
Well then, I changed that. No.
Hey, Friday narrative. It was on you today.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh wait. What? Why is it on me? I come up with, hey, Mitchell Robinson's dad is missing. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
God
you're
dang
right.
it. All right, so so it's metrically, right, the stats line up well for everyone here that's going to play 36, 37, 38, 40 minutes against Charlotte Hornets. So I don't need birthdays to push me towards Fred VanVleet being a solid play here. But line-wise, VanVleet's given us a 40 fantasy point projection, and we don't have any assists on him, right? No, we don't, but we do get 32.5 PRA. So they're giving us an 8-point swing from the PRA to fantasy points. So are we leaving 8 points on the table for blocks and steals? Van Vliet averaging 1.6 steals per game, so that's 2, so that's 6 points implied. And then how often is he turning the ball over to give us -1s, 1-3s? So a little bit of neutralization there. Would PRA be the better bet? I don't know. I guess I don't know. Fantasy wise, I got Van Vliet for 45, so that'd be 5 above the projection. I also have Siakam for 47, and I think that might. Oh, Jesus, they got him for 45. They're getting okay. PrizePicks. They're getting good with the prices right now.
Yeah.
I was looking for Van Vliet assist. I would take an assist prop around 6.5. I would probably jump on that, right? I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know.
I mean, last time, like I said, last game he didn't pass it at all. That game he just shot. So in a fast-paced matchup, the guards are going to dribble it up, and if they have an open shot, they're going to take it.
All right, give me Trent 3.5 points. Over. And
then, so wait, are you going Van Vliet real life
I was talking about the merit of PRA versus fantasy score.
Right, right.
7.5 points. He is not implied, but he averages 2 stocks a game, so that's 6 fantasy points. But
Yeah,
1 to 3 turnovers could be,
yeah.
just a +3.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
why I was
guess
asking about real life points instead. But
so. I guess real life makes a lot. 21.5 is essentially a season average,
yeah,
and you usually expect to be above average against the Hornets. So
unless the knee's a problem, right?
yeah, the knee would be the concern here. Dropped 20 on the nose against Charlotte last time. The hook, the one in the hook here. That would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
annoying. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm getting a great deal. I think Trent threes is like the one I feel okay
Yeah,
about.
that was the one that, yeah, same that I just stood out to me. Yep.
All right, opposite side here. No Gordon Hayward for the Hornets again, and we have seen a mixed bag of nuts in terms of results for the Hornets when it comes to who pops, who doesn't. I'm gonna go to the Charlotte Hornets here using the NBA Wowie tool. We're gonna put LaMelo Ball on the court. We're gonna put Terry Rozier on the court, and then I guess we'll also put Miles Bridges. Those 3 guys, I think, will have a lot of overlap to not over dilute the sample size on minutes. And then we can kind of guess PJ Washington, Mason Plumlee, Montrezl Harrell, guys like that going forward. But in this split with Melo, Rozier, and Bridges, we got LaMelo with a 27% usage rate, Bridges 24, Terry Rozier 22, and of course LaMelo leading the charge with over 1.2 PrizePicks fantasy points per minute. And I have Melo right now for 47 PrizePicks fantasy points, Terry Rozier 37, Miles Bridges 39. Looking at the lines on PrizePicks, LaMelo, they got him at 41, which is actually a little bit over what I have him. And then, wait, is that over? No, it's a little bit under. It's about 6 point under. So the +6 might make me lean that way. Bridges 36, so I think that's an appropriate line. And then Rozier 34 fantasy points. That's an appropriate line. Usually, if Rozier's going to pop all the way off, it's going to be associated with a lot of real points. 18.5 is his point prop right now, and that's something that he usually clears unless it's the most elite of defenses, i.e. the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
But if you expect this game to be competitive down the stretch or just a 2-point spread, there's a good chance Rozier leads the team in shot attempts. Obviously, Bridges or Kelly Oubre can come in and steal some here, but 20-plus shot attempts, not an outlandish range of outcomes. Played 41 minutes against Toronto in the game a couple weeks ago, dropped 20 real points, so didn't blow 18.5 out the water, but it's still the over is still pretty doggone live, and yeah, I don't know, maybe Rozier real points. Basically, if I was going to get to some Rozier props today, the real point seems like the most exploitable one. And then I'm not really running to much else here. I guess the LaMelo fantasy point prop is intriguing. I don't know. Anytime someone's at 1.5 blocks per steal with a decent chunk of minutes, I'm a little bit intrigued. Miles Bridges and LaMelo both have that opportunity. Any Hornets that you're leaning strongest on? I guess Melo, they have him at 41 fantasy points. I got him at 47. So there's +5, +6. That's enough for me to be interested. And in the last couple games, LaMelo certainly showed us a propensity to hit that as long as the game's not getting get completely lopsided. The All-Star game might throw some people off, but 41 is something that I pretty much expect them to clear unless they're getting blown out.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, and I'm with you on the Rozier 18.5. But it just depends on what kind of game script you're predicting for this. I mean, Bridges has been balling the last few games, but this is not a great matchup for him against a lengthy, athletic Raptors team. And then I'm not sure why they don't have Harrell's props on here, but they do have Plumlee's. So yeah, I don't know. I would say all those are fringe for me. So
yeah, I'm in agreement. Like the thing that I hate about the Hornets is they're not super predictable game to game. Meaning they rotate spike games, right? Oubre will pop, Terry Rozier will pop, LaMelo will pop, PJ Washington will randomly show up.
Yeah, right.
Looking at the last Hornets and Raptors game, They kept the rotation pretty tight. Kelly Oubre played 38 minutes off the bench, mind you. They closed out by benching Mason Plumlee. This was prior to Montrezl Harrell being involved. Ish Smith didn't get much run, and it was a really, really tight rotation where like both teams got their cardio in with the minutes on the court. And ironically, the Hornets starters played more than the Raptors starters, with LaMelo, Bridges, Rozier all seeing over 40 minutes, and Oubre getting involved in the mix, and PJ Washington as well. Again, Montrezl Harrell could change that, and that was the game that Gordon Hayward got hurt, but he only represents 6 minutes that game. So I guess something to be cognitive of. And then, of course, like we said, no Anunoby here. Does maybe weaken the I would say the wing defense a little bit, but there's a couple of ways that the Raptors can react here. I think for fantasy, we'll have a Chris Boucher discussion, but for DFS, it's going to be a lot of what we see is what we get. But Gary Trent threes, LaMelo fantasy points, I think, is ultimately the two things I'm going to walk away with from that game. Heat at the Knicks, man. No, right?
No.
Just,
Those are two stay away teams for me that are playing against each other. So yeah, no thanks.
Miami, New York, two of the bottom three pace teams in all of basketball. Defensive efficiency for Miami is pretty good. I think it looks a little worse on the season sample size, but a lot of that is, some without Butler, some with Adebayo. I think altogether really, really solid. So we don't expect them much here. So I really don't want to put much from this game in a prize pick setting. Yeah, moving on. Philadelphia and Minnesota. T-Wolves beat the Grizzlies last night. Patrick Beverley, he got some Twitter fingers, man. He said the Grizzlies didn't do all that dancing last night. What happened? They did.
That's Pat Bev for you, man.
Cancun on 3. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. So Cat and D-Russ popped off. D-Russ popped all the way off last night. The Sixers coming into town, and it looks like Mr. James Harden should be ready to go. So Harden, historically a guy that we know plays a lot of ISO basketball. However, that's not to say that he can't build with high assists, because this is a guy that's averaging over 10 assists per game this year. But I guess we're tasked with the job of guessing his impact negatively or positively to Joel Embiid, right? Is Embiid going to be 35 real points a game here with Harden in the mix? I think, one of the reasons they got Harden is so that Embiid doesn't have to be that person. Embiid does have a little bit of history with Cat, right? They've had a couple of games where didn't they get into an actual fight and both got ejected? A fight in quotations where they were. Yeah. But I thought that Embiid squashed it once Cat lost his mother, so maybe that's a little bit more in the past here. But I guess the question is, Harden and Embiid on the court together, this is the unknown, but this is two of the higher usage individual players in the league. The prize picks lines for the 76ers, did they give us? They got Embiid at 55 fantasy points. They got Harden at 44 fantasy points. Certainly think that Harden's assist rate wouldn't suffer. I don't know that many pick and rolls get more dangerous than Harden and Embiid, right? 9.5 assists. Would you take a shot in the dark on Harden 9.5?
That's the one thing I was debating on, because it's like we've seen Harden be like CP3 this year, get up to 10.5, 11 assist props. 9.5. I mean, you can get to his usual 10 and you clear it, right? So it's just the unknown. Like, with these games, when new players, especially star profile players like this, when they come onto a team, it can go one of two ways, especially the type of player. It could either be Harden wants to prove himself worthy to the team and as a distributor and facilitator, and he maintains his role. Or a lot of times the team will want that guy to feel comfortable, and they'll feed him the ball and want him to score, right? Yeah. So that you're kind of fighting those two forces. Which one is it going to be? So I get it if you want to fade it. It can be risky because he could just chuck up a lot of shots today as an abnormal game. So
I will say one of the things that we've been on lately is Embiid assists without Seth Curry.
Sure.
He had like a
Yep.
10% jump. Someone's got to fill that gap, right? You don't need Embiid
Yep.
playing point. So I think that's a natural a spot for Harden to take over. Maxey, of course, might have to move to the side here a little bit, but I think you don't get James Harden to
Right.
not use him. So I think Harden should have a lot of on-ball responsibility. Like I
Yeah.
said, I think that assist line is something I'll have some stake in. Unless they came out and said that he was limited, I didn't really think that it was a real injury. I thought it was I don't say not a real injury, but I felt like they made it easy on him to take some time off when KD and LeBron did that little All-Star draft. So we'll see what they do here. They get the T-Wolves on night 2 of back-to-back. They have Harden at 2 threes as well, something that it's a little bit more volatile. I think you give me the Harden assist.
Yeah.
Do we stay away from Embiid anything?
Right. Yeah. I want to see this chemistry first. I would feel the most comfortable with Harden, like we talked about, just because we know his role, but we don't know how Embiid's gonna mesh with him. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Give me some Harden assist here. And then with that said, I guess there's not really much to get on the under elsewhere. I think Harden's assist is probably my favorite spot here. T-Wolves on a back-to-back. They're kind of hard to predict because their big three can pop off any given night. Like I said, Cat versus Embiid, that can go a couple different ways. Vanderbilt's a big foul guy, by the way. Yesterday we called that with Ja Morant. He actually fouled out. Maybe Harden gets some of those.
Well, he'll definitely foul out against Embiid, that's for sure.
Yeah, Embiid and Harden, good luck. So maybe get some free throw. Actually, what is Embiid's free throw prop? Maybe that's the.
Hey, it's only 9. That's not bad for him, man. I've seen it up plus 10 before. So.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, like we said yesterday, the T-Wolves do allow the most free throw attempts in the league. So.
Yeah, Ja got hit by like 1, so. A little bit of a sweat, but any T-Wolves like stuff that you would take a shot. I think I'd probably stay away from. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like you said, back to back and the big 3 carousel. No, thank you.
All right. I think that 2 more spots when we talk about. It's 1:46, in about 10 minutes or so. Right after this show, I'm going to be talking about the slate from a broader DFS point of view. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth game to game here. So if you guys want to be part of that, it is following this stream on this channel. It's the flagship program, we're keeping it going. I'll still be mindful of PrizePicks lines, and you guys can still throw PrizePicks questions, and then if we get more news, we'll be able to react to that appropriately. Looking at the next game, we got the Phoenix Suns hosting the Pelicans. Suns night 2 of a back-to-back, put away the Thunder last night pretty easily. And then the Pelicans coming in at their pretty strong finish to the first half post the CJ McCollum trade. Phoenix is 7-point favorites here. Yesterday, like I said, we saw Cameron Johnson inserted into the starting lineup. If we look at the rotation from last night for Phoenix, we saw minute-wise before things kind of right. I guess they never wait. Why is it? I'm on the wrong page. It went to the second page instead of before the game was completely done and dusted. I guess I never really got to that point. We saw Devin Booker contribute 38 minutes, Bridges 31, Ayton just about 30. Ayton, by the way, the SOB of the night, by the way.
Gosh.
My dude had like 20 in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, he killed it.
And then stopped. He was like, I'm done.
yeah. It's like I'm gonna take the night off the rest of the night. I did my work in the first 2 minutes. I don't know what happened. I didn't get to catch that game because I was out. So, but I did see that.
Yeah, Jay Crowder also killed it in his minutes. But what we saw out of Devin Booker last night was assists and steals. He had 6 of those SOBs, man. 6 steals last night with 12 assists. So kind of put the best of Chris Paul into a performance to fill in the gap here. 25 real points to boot. We expect his usage rate to be sky high. Nothing to run from on the Pelicans team defensively. They offer one of the worst defensive efficiencies in all of basketball. I've got Devin Booker at 50, almost 52 fantasy points in PrizePicks scoring, and then on PrizePicks they're offering us Devin Booker at 46. So I'm getting a 6-point gap there. I'm willing to get to that that. Obviously, like I said, 6 points. That represents 18 fantasy points. Maybe an outlier performance,
Yeah.
but Devin Booker on the season averaging steal plus per game, and then the Pelicans maybe can turn it over. The Pelicans have committed to keeping Devontae Graham on the bench and letting Ingram, CJ McCollum, guys like that run the ship here. So I do think they'll be a little bit more bolstered offensively. But yeah, like I said, if Devin Booker doesn't have those 6 steals, that's 18 points off the table. We were on his real points to an extent. We expected his usage to be up there. He would have missed this line today by 1 and a hook. So I still think that is live. The 7.5 assists could be live if they roll out that same starting lineup where he's playing pure point guard. So maybe that's a line we attack. Obviously, historically, Booker's not a guy that we expect to be a massive pass first guy, but the fact that he can do it is a good sign. And then them showing us that they'd rather not use Aaron Holiday and Elfrid Payton more than they have to is also a good sign. And then just this season alone, if I put Devin Booker on the court, I take Chris Paul off the court. I'm not gonna divvy up the Cameron Payton minutes yet, but Devin Booker has a 27% assist rate on the season without Chris Paul. So maybe 7.5 assists is the line that's most proper to attack against one of the worst defenses. What are you thinking on the Suns?
Yeah, I was thinking the 7.5 assist, and then maybe pairing it with Bridges' 22.5 PRA. It looks like for some reason they took his PRA down by 1. It was 23.5 for yesterday's game, and today is 22.5, and he crushed that yesterday. So I expect him to do the same today. I mean, him and Crowder, like you said, with this unit, they dominated the shot. And I don't see anything changing today with that. So.
No, I like that call quite a bit. Mikal Bridges got a rare night of only 31 minutes too. And you thought like with Cameron Johnson, starting alongside him, maybe there was no reason for him not to play his usual almost 40 minutes in a game here, but yesterday just 31 minutes. And we know in a competitive game, you likely get closer to 40 minutes out of Bridges, and he does a little bit of everything here. So I do like that call on his PRA certainly. So Booker assists, Mikal Bridges PRA.
Yep. Do we go back to Ayton, or we just leave him alone for a little bit?
I don't know. Let's put Ayton on the court in this split with Booker just to maybe get that a little bit more finite. Ayton has a 19.9% usage rate, 1.2 PrizePicks fantasy points per minute. Though I think the thing with Ayton is there's enough minutes for McGee. And Biyombo didn't play last night, but
he didn't play, but he's always there.
Right, exactly. And I'm never like sold that Ayton's going to be a 35-minute player more often than he's a 28, 29-minute player. So that has me a little bit skittish. Yesterday we were basically there because it was the Thunder. The Thunder have just been that team to pick on. Thunder, Rockets, guys like that. So I probably don't go back to Ayton.
I'm with you.
I think I'm gonna take the Booker assist for now, and I wouldn't hate the fantasy points if we just wanted to throw a blanket, where we couldn't decide on assist or points. We just put it together and hope he gets enough peripherals to get us to the promised land. Any Pelicans here? So we got a little bit of sample size now on the Pelicans, and we do expect the. I said yesterday on the DFS stream, no matter what happened, don't overreact to the one game of sample size without Chris Paul, because the Thunder has one of the worst offensive efficiencies in all of basketball. That they were liable to get smoked no matter what, just because they're the Thunder. So far this season, when McCollum's on the court with Brandon Ingram for the Nolans Pelicans, the usage rates look like McCollum at 27%, Ingram 26%, and the assist percentages are really divvied up, but McCollum kind of leads the pack in everything, especially fantasy points per minute. On the Pelicans lines for PrizePicks, we've got 33 fantasy points on Ingram, 38.5 on McCollum. Nothing that I think is super egregious versus mine. Did you have any Pelicans interest?
I mean, I'm always, when the Pelicans are playing now with this new lineup, I'm always interested in Brandon Ingram's 20 if it's like around 20 points, real life points under. I've been writing that under for the last few games, and it's been working out.
Yeah, and he might get some McCall Bridges
Yeah,
defense, right?
exactly. They kind of like same profile, same size and everything. So I could see him matching up. And actually, when he's not shooting, he does have these spike assist games. Ingram does. I think last game he had 9 assists. So 4.5 is kind of low for him. Because they swapped they took out McCollum's assists after those last few games. He's been crushing them. So
Oh, I think wait, are we live? Chat, am I still here?
yeah, you're still here now.
I think my stream might have dropped for a second. Chat, you guys out there, you can see me. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Do you want to skip the Jazz and Mavs and go for the Clippers Lakers to close out?
Yeah. Clippers Lakers is the gem.
All right. Am I still live?
Uh,
I think so. Potentially, maybe, possibly. YouTube, your channel.
I'm
Yeah, it says we're live. It says we're live.
Okay.
All right. Main event tonight, chat. Clippers went. They're on a big road trip tonight, facing the Lakers. Lakers without Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony expected to play, LeBron expected to play, and the Clippers have been without Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and then Norman Powell after trading away Bledsoe. So from what I like to see usage and fantasy wise here, I think I want to look at Reggie Jackson. I think I'm going to look at LeBron James. So let's start on the Clipper side real quick. And essentially I just want to put Reggie on the court, and I want to take everyone off. I'm going to take off actually, let me just put Reggie and Marcus Morris on the court, and I'll take off actually, I'm just gonna look at it'd be easier to just like bring me to February. Put Reggie Morris on and take off Norman Powell. Right, that's how we do it. We still live, chat. All right, appreciate that, chat. For some reason, my thing dropped for a second. Reggie. This month, without Norman Powell, with Marcus Morris on the court, a 29% usage rate, 1.13 fantasy point per minute. Marcus Morris, a 24% usage rate. So those are two guys I wanted to key in on from the Clippers side. By the way, if you are here for the DFS show, looks like it might be a couple minutes over. Sue me, 35 fantasy points is the line on Reggie. I've got him for 40 fantasy points, so there's a +6 for me on that line. And Marcus Morris, I've got him for 34 on my projections. They got him for 28, so I do like the over there. And I think the lines that I'm more intrigued by is what can we get on LeBron James right now? Nothing. They give us just Russell Westbrook and Malik Monk. But earlier this season, with plenty of sample size, with Russell Westbrook and LeBron on and no Anthony Davis, we've seen LeBron just kind of take over. We've also seen LeBron start at center. I think that could happen today with Carmelo Anthony potentially being available again. They could go back to Dwight Howard for 11 minutes as a starter and then just kind of wing it from there. The Clippers don't necessarily demand a lot from you size wise. Let me open this back up to the beginning of October 19th, start of the season. So we put Westbrook, LeBron James on the court, Anthony Davis off the court, 32% usage rate on LeBron James, and a 27% assist rate. And I think on the opposite side of January 1, we saw LeBron have even more ball handling duties, a 1.5 fantasy point per minute production rate for a PrizePicks scoring. So I guess what I'd be waiting for is a LeBron James assist line at 7.5 or below, and then a fantasy prop at 50 or below. I've got him at 65 right now. So would you agree with everything I just said? And do you have anything else you're looking for?
Yeah. When I opened up the player prop tab and I saw LeBron at the top of 65, I was like, okay, we're gonna wait for that card to drop or that prop to drop. That's probably the one I'd look out for. Although, I mean, with the assist prop, even I know he'll like take over and facilitate, but if he's playing at the 5, I mean, that could we get off of his assist prop and get on Westbrook's assist prop?
Why are you doing this to me, man? I
got
thought we
to.
had an agreement. Don't put me on the spot with Russell Westbrook.
I got to, man.
6.5 assists for Westy. I mean, that's low enough against Reggie Jackson. And,
Right.
they have a little OKC history. Sure, but I think the safer money is on the Westbrook side. They also have on the LeBron side. They also
Yeah,
Westbrook at 30.5 PRA, which is going to trap me today as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Because he's been getting up to near 20 points recently. So
Yeah. All right, off the top of your head, and I'll get us into I gotta get into the DFS show. Favorite 3 props.
we didn't talk the Clippers side, or I guess you said.
I like Reggie. Yeah, what do you like?
I was gonna say Reggie fantasy point or 6.5 assists, and then maybe some Zubac. He's been really efficient. And it's a revenge game. Maybe 10.5 points, or first half 13 fantasy point.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, I like all that. All right, so if you had to make a 3-pick power right now to save your life,
Yeah. So we got Wendell. Where do you want to go? Is blocks and steals or fantasy points?
ooh, probably blocks. I would say blocks and steals because it's such an easy sweat. But
Yeah.
fantasy points is fine too.
Okay, either one of those, and then Gary Trent 3.5 threes,
Yes.
and then you want to do Booker's assist or pair it with Harden's assist.
I think I like Harden assists
Okay.
because I feel like he's gonna do it, and then I like Booker as well. So there's 4.
There's 4. Yeah, 4 power play.
All right, chat. I'll keep the party going. Just a couple minutes. If you stay here, it's gonna bring you to the next stream, and then I'll be live in just a couple minutes talking the slate all over again, diving a little bit deeper, and looking at things from a FanDuel DraftKings point of view as well as PrizePicks. Man, I appreciate you guys. Remember, if you're thinking about joining PrizePicks, use promo code Gundacker. They show me some love. Josh, I guess we'll see you Monday unless you're randomly going to be off tomorrow.
No, next week's much better for me, and I'm gonna be honed in and focused. So, sorry, this later this week was rough for me, man. But I'll be back.
Good. It's all good. It's a family, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys in the next show. Appreciate you. Good luck. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.